Welcome back. I think this is like part 8 of the build series. We're just gonna get right into working on this thing. So this is gonna be our intro. I'm just taking some like stuff that I hope will bubble up. Right now I'm gonna try to use this air conditioning condenser. See if I can basically find any leaks, because I'd like to use it for a cooler of some type. Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick little heads up. This video is going to be all over the place, but I'm going to be doing a bunch of plumbing, wiring, etc. Just kind of continuing things out from the previous video, and then hopefully get this thing kind of basically set up and ready to rock and roll by the beginning of the next episode. So stand by and enjoy the show. I'm gonna put this back in the truck and try to use it. Alright, so now that I got this idle air temperature dude drilled out and hammered in there, it's trying to get a little bit straighter than it was, but whatever, it works. It doesn't not feel like it's going to come out, so I think I'll be even okay with some boost pressure pushing on that in the future. So now, one thing I realized I didn't plug in was the good old knock sensor, which is underneath the intake. So I get to unscrew every single one of these intake bolts and try to hopefully lift it up just enough that I can reach in there with my hand and plug it in. So cool, there's our knock sensors put in. I had my arm elbow deep on this side. That was a pain in the butt, but it's in there. Hopefully they're plugged in correctly. Next, I just need to do the oil pressure sensor, and then I'm trying to remember what there was. I got a fuel pressure sensor here, but I don't need it for now. It's not really required. But everything else I think is good to go, but I'm gonna double check everything and we'll get back to you guys in a second. All right, so same area, different piece that we're working on now. After getting all this wiring, basically, I think it's all ready other than this oil pressure sensor, dude. I'm gonna start sticking some vacuum lines in there. This truck manifold apparently have this spot right here where you can take the plug out and then stick in this dude. And hopefully that's sealed enough. Now I'm just gonna run a 3/8 line from here to the brake booster, which is sitting right under the camera, and then a 1/4 inch line from this T down to the transmission. So hopefully the transmission will shift. There she is. Aside from that, what I'm going to do for now while I'm kind of waiting for other stuff to come in is I'm going to end up figuring out where my clearance issues are. Like I was kind of turning the steering wheel and I was bumping pretty good right here. So I think I'm just going to end up cutting out this fender. And then the inner fender is really hitting because this was the side that got smashed. So a lot of this is going to have to come out. A lot of this is going to probably have to come out. The other side doesn't seem too bad. But yeah, just get it so I can just drive it down the road a little bit without smashing stuff up. Alright, so we got getting better clearance now. I'm sure that's still gonna hit when it touches down, but I decided to also weld this front piece together because I just could not get the bolt hole to line up. So that's welded together. Not quite. I can fit almost 4 fingers in there. But I guess we'll find out when I start driving and jumping around and see if anything will hit. But I just happened to have a couple parts come in the mail like an hour ago. So oil pressure sensor that I need for the wiring harness. This, I'm going to use this T in the heater return line for the steam dude. So I'll hook that to the steam dude and be done with that. And then this is a temperature sensor gauge. You can't really see it because it's super dark, but I'm going to hook up a transmission oil temperature sensor gauge so I know how hot the transmission is getting so I don't cook that. So anyways, let's go ahead and throw these couple pieces on real quick and then see what's going to be after that. Alrighty, I got the heater hose dude plugged in there. I started kind of pouring some water in there just to see if it's gonna hold. I actually did put the pressure gauge dude on there too, and it leaked down slowly, but whatever, I'm sure it'll be okay. I'll have to kind of figure out where the leak is later. I plugged in the transmission temperature gauge dude. That's the sending unit down there. Then I gotta run some wire up into the cab, and cool thing, my buddy Nicky hooked me up, and he made this little pod. Oh, I got my wires and stuff in it. This little pod holder, 3D printed it. I just came in and kind of grinded out the inside walls so this pod would fit in there. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but basically it fits in there nice and it keeps it snug, but I can still slide it in and out. So that'll work. I did trim it down a little bit, trim this edge and that edge. This was just a generic one we found online, and it'll slide right on in there. I'll get some adhesive on it when I'm finally ready for it to be where it's going to be forever. Basically set it right there, and then I think later on I'll throw a boost gauge in on this one. That's where I was thinking do the dual, just so I have a separate boost gauge off of the computer so I can tell later on what's going on. But this is where this guy will sit right there for the temperature for the transmission. And then end up drilling a little hole, running the wires back here, just kind of keeping them sneaky. And I'm literally just going to plug in the power into the fuse, one of these fuses. So whatever, it works. I'll run the ground in here as well, and then the green and yellow wire, I got to run one to the green wire goes to the sending unit, and then the yellow wire, I believe, goes to like a light switch. So if you turn on your lights, it'll dim it out for you so you're not getting blinded. So that's kind of nice. But anyways, I'm going to try to solder this ground dude onto that dude. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there, keep running some wires and get that thing set up. Alright, so all our wiring done, buttoned up. I still need to adhese this, glue it down, or Velcro or something down. I still got to figure out, kind of where I want it actually in there, but that's where she's gonna sit. There it is. So we got our trans temp. Later on I'll do something else in that other pod, but everything else seems to be kind of getting dialed in here. Okay, so now all that's in, I'm going to get this motor ready to be fired over, and I'm going to use this weed sprayer to prime it. So apparently all I need to do is take a bolt off down in there on the side of the block that should lead straight into the oil pump, and I can take, I don't know, like a quart of oil or something through this, and I'll cut the tube and then plug it into the side and basically just pump this thing, and supposedly it's gonna pump it up, so I guess I'll find out in a second here. Alright, so we're underneath here, and my little hole is right, follow this hose It's right there. So basically I'm gonna try to slide this dude in here or screw it in or whatever to get it in there. Ooh, this might take me a second. Let me put the camera down. Okay, I got the camera set down. Basically what I did was I screwed this dude into the side of the block here. And then I'm gonna take, this is the hose that's coming in from that weed sprayer dude. I'm gonna try to not fill the tube full of dirt and stuff. And actually what I'm gonna do before is I have about a quart of oil in the thing. I'm just gonna start pumping this thing until I see oil coming out of the nozzle. Okay, it's gonna get messy for a second here. I'm gonna stick that guy inside of there. I'm just gonna slam him as far in as I can get it. Alright, that's sealed enough. Now I'm just gonna sit here and pump. So now I got this dude here, and I'm just gonna sit here and pump him up. Alrighty, so after a successful 1,000 pumps, I got all the oil into it. I actually was sitting, I don't know, halfway down from where I had it. It's way down now, but I decided to crank the motor over just to, you know, try to get some different valves or whatever. Or not valves, get the push rods and the whatever, just get some oil up to the different ones. And it actually just sucked the entire tube out through the oil pump. So I guess it's primed. And I think I'm gonna end up calling it on this video. I'm gonna end up, you know, filling up the rest of the radiator, making sure my power steering's topped off, transmission fluid, engine oil. Oh, the one thing I didn't think about was I already put a bunch of oil in it, so now it's over full, but whatever. I'll run it a little bit, then I'll probably drain the oil and then put new oil in it. So that is that on this episode. Hopefully you guys show up on the next one. I think we're gonna end up getting this thing fired up, and hopefully it will actually run on its own. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching all the way through. Hope you enjoy, and catch you on the next one.